Now today what was happening in the shop is we were predicted to have a terrible storm come through. We had to batten down the hatches, cancel all our plans for going for a ride, and I found a project that I wanted to do for a while already, polish some brake lines, some steel brake lines that Joe Padula donated. Among other things we do in the shop, that's one of the projects we normally would do in the winter, but today we're rain bound, I guess is the right word, storm bound. Anyway, I thought I'd share this little thing. It's going to start off with the storm coming our way and end with the storm already here. And in the meantime, we have a few minutes of making some zucchini bread and some other little loose ends we had to tie up around the shop. It's a fun day. So today's a little bit different than every other day. We got to batten down the hatches here, and because we got a warning a storm is coming, we're going to put all our stuff in the garage. That'll make working on motorcycles a little inconvenient. Now because of the storm, we're bringing all our stuff in, all the lawn furniture. It's going to be a real adventure. And if you thought I didn't need a bigger garage, I do. Somebody send me some money. So this is now the new windy garage and combination lawn furniture department. Oh my God, I need a bigger garage. A bigger garage. And it'll be even better if the storm doesn't materialize, but can't take a chance. Those are our new cushions. Karen's so happy with them. So the rains have already started and we're expecting a lot more rain. Luckily we got everything in. Everything's in the garage. And I think Karen's got some other plans for today. So on this rainy day we're going to be using some of the zucchini from our garden. We made 7 loaves of zucchini bread the first time. How many loaves are you going to make today?
I think 5, but I've given most of them away.
So while I was putting lawn furniture away and ducking raindrops, Karen prepped up a lot of the zucchini bread. This is our project for the day, zucchini bread. And my favorite tool, the Cuisinart. Don't put your finger in there. First thing is my incredible knife skills. Next to none. Hit it, baby. Whoa! Oh, you gotta press there. Go ahead. Oh, there you go. Instant zucchinis. So we've basically turned that into that. I love Harbor Freight tools. And what are you doing here, my love?
This is eggs, oil, and vanilla, all mixed.
Eggs, oil, and vanilla. Okay.
Okay, that's
It's like an oil change. You put a little mobile one in there, change your filter every time you make a zucchini bread.
Exactly. And I have to add the sugar to it.
Oh, this is the best part. Don't put that in the gas tank of your two-stroke. Oh my God. No wonder it tastes so good. You're eating a bowl of sugar. And the blueberries. Who would not want to have blueberries? Now, if you ever mixed bondo, you know the thrill of mixing bondo? Well, we could have zucchini bondo here with extra carbon fiber threads in it. Okay, so how much you putting in now? 4 cups?
4 cups.
This is going to make, oh my God. Now that's like putting carbon fiber thread in the bondo. See, if you know about mixing bondo, you put a little carbon fiber thread in it. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. We have double mixing going on here, like a twin engine airplane. Wow. So the hot tip is you put flour with the blueberries.
And that's
this is a secret from Dottie Cook, the late Dottie Cook.
So that the blueberries don't fall to the bottom of each pan.
The next thing here, love.
This is flour, baking powder, baking soda, and cinnamon.
And we add it to the bondo?
Add it to the bondo, yes.
Let's add it to the bondo. There you go. And then have the handsome hub, or I'll stir it. Or would you rather have the handsome hub stir it?
The handsome hub, please.
Okay, give me the spoon. Okay, thanks to that handsome husband, he stirred this up till his right arm was sore. We ready now?
We are.
Now, what are you hoping? We're going to get 5 out of this? 5 loaves?
I think 5, maybe 6.
Okay. Well, you calculated pretty good the first time. Okay. And when that comes out of the oven, you cannot believe how delicious it is. The blueberries are the secret, I think.
I think so.
Because I've had the bread without the blueberry. The blueberries really make it nice.
Let's do it this way so I don't spill anything.
You're the boss. Now, how long does that sit in the oven?
15 minutes, maybe a little more.
Okay. So while that's cooking, the most fun you can have making zucchini bread is to have your husband clean up all the pots. And we have just the man for the job. So it's the moment of truth. Oh, the smell in here is so good. Ooh. And there you have it. 5 loaves of zucchini bread. We have 7 already. This makes the 12. We made 12 loaves already this year, right from our garden. And all through that, it didn't stop raining for 1 minute. But this will make it so much better. A nice cup of coffee. Well, the rain never let up. One thing's for sure. We didn't miss a great riding day. Now, it's hard to describe just how crappy of a day this has turned out to be. Glad we took all the lawn furniture in, but obviously not going to ride today, but we do have a little project I can work on. That'll be interesting. While the zucchini bread is in the oven, I have a little project to work on here that Joe Padula graciously donated these brake lines. They're steel brake lines for the GS, and I thought today would be a good day to make sure they fit, number one, because you never know when you order things if they're going to fit. And I see one, I don't know what this little thing is for, the tang. Maybe it's got a purpose. I have to figure it out. But these are very old. They are not brand new. They weren't made yesterday. So I see there's a lot of corrosion on them. I'd like to polish them up. So step one is I want to thank Joe for donating these to our cause. This was one of the projects I was going to work on soon, and I'm going to eliminate, when I put these on, eliminate the anti-dive. I've already done that once already on the GS, and it's just a long story, but I changed the brake rotors too at that time to EBS rotors. I went back to the stock rotors. Then I bought an extra set of rotors. It's all just a long, involved thing. But anyway, these look like, and I think I'll be able to do this really easily. See how corroded they are? Now, they've been sitting in a bag, they may be for a lot of years. In fact, I know it's a lot of years because when Joe got the bike, he said he got these donated with the bike. And of course, he has the twin to my bike. And I think he's put on the ones that are black because he wanted it to look authentic. Well, you know, that's good. But the thing with these is I want to replace the rubber that's on the bike is old. It's like me. It's falling apart. So polishing these up today, that'll be a nice little project. So I wanted to look at these, and I'll just get the buffing wheel, put some fresh, this looks like it's all steel, no brass. I don't think it's brass. We'll get some compound on there and see if these buff up. It should be a short job, but something I'd like. It's a lot easier to do this when it's off the bike, and of course be very careful not to get any into the brake lines. We'll clean it thoroughly when we're done. Now, I'm not familiar with the company, but it looks like we have one end that's removable from this, and I guess it's a screw-in application. The other end it's like a factory end. So what it looks like is these are, or were at one time, adjustable. And again, before I do anything, I can't go out to the garage now because it's all full of lawn chairs, but I can get this polished up. A good little job for a rainy day. So as I started polishing this, it turns out it's a lot more difficult than you see, even on the video, because that piece hanging wants to keep twisting, and you've got to figure ways of holding it and put it in your teeth and wrap it around your shoulder. It just turned out to be a very, very tricky part to do, especially the steel braided line. So in a matter of a few minutes at the buffing wheel, you can see how quick that oxidation came off. Now this is the end that's non-removable. So I'm going to do this one, and then we'll see how those other ends come apart. Again, I'm not familiar with this. I don't know who the manufacturer was, but since Joe Padula donated them, I think it's worth polish. And it's so easy to polish it now. Once this is on the bike, to get around that, around the caliper and the bolt, and I'll polish the bolts and everything. And that's my suggestion to anything you have off the bike. Polish it before you put it back on. Just a lot easier. I think that really makes a difference. To me, it's worth the few minutes it takes to do that. So what I'll work on next is the same thing with the other permanent end on this. Same thing, it's 5-10 minutes, and it'll be polished up. It starts out being a little tricky. I made it go a little bit easier the second one, and the parts after that, it just takes a little bit of being aware that, you know, it's like polishing a snake, and the snake is always trying to bite you. So the two permanent ends cleaned up pretty nicely, pretty quickly, and now the other ends that are removable, I want to see if it's worth taking it apart or polishing it in one piece. So, because I'm unfamiliar with this brand of brake line, and again, I don't even know which brand it is, but I'm looking at these little, I'm not sure what that is. That's to keep the, if this were chafing somewhere on the frame or something, I don't know, but these ends are removable. And nothing unusual about that. That looks okay. What it does, it just makes polishing this a little bit easier. Yeah, for sure it is easier polishing the ends when they're off the snake, I should say. That seems like that cleaned up pretty nicely, and the other end I'll clean up separately. So when we're all done, all of these ends will be polished. But in the end, once I polished for a few minutes anyway, it got easier and easier as I got used to handling the part. Remember when the late Bob Navola was here and we were making up custom brake lines for his unique controls that he had? And I do remember him having all this equipment to make steel brake lines. I think I still have some of it out in the garage, but I'm not sure. Now that's got to be tightened down, torqued down, and whatever. Now, I think the reason this is like this is, I'm just thinking, this might be, but it may be wrong, is so if you wanted to have this at some angle, you could loosen this. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah, you could tighten it with this, and you could tighten it in actually in any position, which is kind of nice. I see it has a nice big thread. The other one doesn't. The other one is different. So, but again, Joe got these for nothing, and he was nice enough to pass them on to me. So a little polish in here. Once I have this all totally polished up, I'll be ready to set a day to, and again, it's going to be not going to be in the next couple days, because this is a project I want to bleed the brakes. I want to do a lot of other stuff on the GS, but just having these polished, I'm way ahead of the game. Now the other one looks to be brass. It has a different fitting, so again, I don't know. We're going to find out when I go to just do the test fit. Now, it's really important, and I've learned this the hard way. It's really important. Before I take the old brake lines off, I want to make sure these are plenty long and that they're long enough with the forks fully extended. That's a critical thing. And I know because I've made the mistake in the past of trying to make them a little bit shorter than they have to be so there wouldn't be a big bend in them. And then when the forks fully extend, they get a little too close. Well, I don't want to fall for that trick again. So that really worked out nice. I just got to take this one over to the wheel, polish this end up. And then there's some other hardware in there. I want to polish it all up. And what a great use of a rainy day. Make zucchinis and polish brake lines. And the last little thing I want to do is put a little bit of the mother's cleaner on this. There's always some protector in there. Throw it won't protective what oil or whatever they use. So these will stay clean until the day we actually want to use them. This was just a rainy day project. I didn't plan on doing it, but I'm glad I got it done. This is time well invested, because once these go on. Now, there's a couple of other things to keep in mind. When the step one is going to be to again, measure these out and make sure they exactly fit and they route and everything is right with the forks fully extended. That's step one. Then what I want to do is I have, and Joe graciously brought them here. In fact, Joe, I got to say thank you. There's all brand new. These are block off bolts, but I'm not going to use them. I have other bolts that go on there to block off the old plate. I'm going to disconnect the, here's the new cush washers. And by the way, when you hook this up, what's going to happen to the master cylinder, this is going to get hooked up double. You need a special double nut, a double bolt. I already have that because I've already done this job already, but disconnecting things. So that's already done. But what I try to do is lay out everything and get everything. I always like to have everything polished. You know, the gods really do see everywhere. They even see things that you don't want them to see. But anyway, that when that's on now, there's a couple of points to make. There's no way putting these on is not going to turn the brakes that are on that year bike, it's an 82, into a brand new MT-09 brake. The brakes on all modern bikes are just way better than old, but the material's different. The ratios in the parts are different. It's not fair to compare it. But what is important is I try to make the brakes on the GS as good as I can make them. In the beginning, when I first bought the bike, it warped the rotors up within a matter of months of having the bike. Suzuki replaced them. They replaced it once. I bought the second set after that because I had 3 sets altogether, and then I put what was going to be the solution, some real high-tech pads that were made for racing. Didn't like them at all. They didn't work good when they were cold. So what I went back to originally was ordinary brake pads from Suzuki, not aftermarket, and the stock rotors. And now with steel lines, well, it's going to be a little bit better, but it's not going to be, even anybody realistic knows this. And Joe already had his rotors skim cut. We may want to do that in the future too. I don't know. But just upgrading the brakes a little bit, this will be a small upgrade. And I'm looking for any upgrade I can get at this point in time. And I really think all this little time I spend, even small things like this, just help maintain these old bikes to where they're, well, as good as I can possibly make them. And since I've had this bike since it's new, this is one of the bikes, like Dallas, I treasure. So I hope you did enjoy making some zucchini with us today and polishing up some parts for a future project. I try to post something every day that's interesting or motorcycle related, but sometimes on days like today, when we're in the middle of a storm, I'm limited. Anyway, hope you did enjoy the video, and thanks so much for watching. So this is yet another upgrade, soon to be upgrade for my GS. Of course, I have 2 of them, and they're really evil twins, but it's hard to explain to people the lure of these older bikes. Now, I know you don't have to explain it to people like Dallas here. You can see both of them in one picture. But I love being able to switch the bodywork out and have a West Cooley bike and have the traditional paint job. I love the fact that I've got the engine polished on the one bike. And it reminds me of the great rides this bike's been on. Here we are with Charlie and the MV. We went on this ride, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Everybody was oogling Charlie's bike. We were up on top of Eagle's Nest here, Hawk's Nest, and here we are at the marina. And I just think the memories that I've had on this bike since 1982, over 72,000 miles total, every one of them has been just a ton of fun. It's just such a easy bike to like, comfortable, nice low end power, great throttle response, as fast as you could ever want a bike unless you're going to track day it. And the memories I have of when it was a West Cooley bike and when it was the traditional bike it is now. And maybe this summer we'll convert it back to being a West Cooley bike. You know, in some rainy afternoon like today when we're polishing brake lines. But having those front brakes even a little bit better is always in my favor. I'm always aware of, I like to have the brakes as good as they possibly can be and keep those rotors as clean as I possibly can too. And before I end the video, thank you, of course, to my beautiful bride, Karen, who has made me a wonderful life here, and 12 loaves of zucchini bread. Thank you, Mrs. Ertnowski. Anyway, for people new to the channel, we do try to share something motorcycle related every day. Even on rainy days like this, we got a big storm warning coming through here. I don't know, I'm just happy that we didn't get the worst of it like some of the parts of the country got it a lot worse than we did. But anyway, we do try to post some of the rides, some of the adventures, some of our 2-stroke projects, some of our evil twin projects, custom wheels. You just go to our channel. I think right now there's over 2,400 videos, but I don't keep track of it every day. And we always are trying to add to our knowledge of the world of motorcycling and share anything we learn that's worth passing on. Before I end the video, of course, I want to thank Joe again. Joe has just been, with the help with the garden, I think Karen's in love with him, to be honest. And we do try to post a new video almost every day. I do enjoy making the videos because I enjoy sharing this information. And I know a lot of people do appreciate it. I hear about it every day. And thank you guys. Old men, old bikes, young hearts is my motto. And I really do enjoy having a garage full of nice, clean, and safe motorcycles. And I'm not sure I'm well on my way to having a full garage, especially with that lawn furniture in it today. I enjoy editing the video, and thanks so much for watching. And hopefully, if you're new to the channel, we'll see you tomorrow.